Family registration is the program with which we add and modify families in our church database and check-in system. This brief video will show you some of the functionality of this program. The first step is logging into the program. At all of our campuses, the username is simply FamReg. The password is FamReg with the number 1 following. Once you've entered the information, click Login. Once you've successfully logged in, you'll see this screen asking if new people should be flagged as first-time visitors. In a weekend service, the answer to this question is always yes. Once you've clicked yes, the program will be up and running and you'll be able to search for families. Here you can search for a family. You can do so by entering partial information into the first name and last name fields. Here we're going to search for Justin Smith. Please note that you can search with partial information, however there needs to be some information entered in both fields. Once you've entered information, click Search. The Results section will now populate with all information matching your search. When you click that family, the information on the right will populate with the adults and children in that family. If you don't need to search for a family, but need to enter a new family, you can do so by clicking the Add New Family button at the bottom of the screen. Doing so will open a dialog box allowing you to add adults and children into a brand new family into Arena. To add a family, simply fill in the fields on this screen. The first 2 fields are for adults. Let's add a test family. Here we'll add John and Jane Doe. Specify their gender and collect birth dates from them as well. It's essential that this information is completed accurately. Once the adults have been entered into a family, you can add their children. Let's say that they have 2 children. We'll call them Johnny and Janie Doe. For children, birth dates are even more important. Children cannot be checked into our computer system without having birth dates recorded. Please also collect information regarding their gender. So we've decided that Johnny was born in 2012, but let's say he's got a sister who's a little older. Let's say that she was born in 1994. This would mean that we also need to collect grade information if applicable. Please select a grade for any children with whom this applies. Once you've selected a grade, the system will automatically populate the class that they're a part of. Once this has been completed, click OK, and the new family will appear in family registration. Once we've added a family, we need to complete their information. Please fill in their telephone number and their address. As you can see, the system will not allow you to enter a telephone number without an area code, so please make sure that you collect a full and complete telephone number. If they'd like to provide their home phone, cell phone, and work phone, please enter that information as well. Email address can be entered into this field, and then right below that, their address can be entered. Once you've entered this information, if a family cannot check in, pull up their information and verify that everything is correct. For example, we have 1 phone number recorded for John, but let's say that he has a cell phone number that's different. Record the new cell phone number and select Save, and that cell phone number will now be associated with John. Now, if the family checks in Johnny for a weekend service and they enter 1234 as the last four digits of their phone number, the system will search all of the phone numbers associated with any of the people in the Doe family, and Johnny will be able to check in. If you need to update a family's information, you can do that in family registration as well. For example, note that John Doe lives on 123 ABC Street. Let's say he moves. Delete the information and enter the new address. We'll say that he moves to 456 ABC Street in Apple Valley. Update the information, click Save. The system will confirm that the family has been saved, and then it will automatically update that information for each person in John's family. In order for a child to check into our system here at River Valley, they must be added to and belong to the correct check-in group. Here's how you add them to the correct group. Select a child, so here we'll use Johnny, and click this button, Add to Group. This dialog box will appear, and pull down this first group cluster pull down, and select the right group at your campus. So, if you're at the Edina campus, you'd go down to Edina and select Children. Once you've done so, the second pull-down group will let you select what age group he's a part of. Now, since Johnny's an infant, we'll want to make sure that he can check into the infant room. So go ahead and select Infants. Then there's two more selections that need to be made. User role, we want him to be a member, and under Status, we want him to be active. Select OK. Johnny Doe was added to the Infants 0 to 12 month group. Now that he's been added to the group, he'll be able to check in as an infant, or in this case his parents will check him in for him, using any phone number attached to a person in his family.